Hey all, welcome to ShareTreck, where science meets investments, and I'm your host Raj. Friends, this is our weekend editorial, and let me set the stage for you. Imagine a hearing room in Washington, an airline CEO under a hot light, a senator pacing through a list of failures, and the public watching, feeling like justice may finally be done. But months later, what really changed? Nothing. That's what I want to explore today. Why the biggest executive pay packages still get accrued and who actually benefits when a headline says a single person could earn $1 trillion. Let's start with Boeing. In 2024, CEO Dave Calhoun was publicly grilled in the Senate. His total reported compensation for 2023 was $32.8 million. The hearing made for viral headlines. A senator demanding to know why a company under safety scrutiny was still paying its chief executive tens of millions.
What is it that you get paid currently?
Senator, that's well disclosed in our proxy documents in each of the years that I've been employed.
Yeah, but what is it?
That's a big number, sir.
Well, let me help you out. It's $32.8 million this year. Does that sound right?
Yes, it does.
That's a 45% increase over last year. Does that sound right?
Yes, it does.
What is it you get paid to do exactly?
I get paid to run the Boeing company.
Yeah. So just help me understand that. I mean, do you get paid for transparency? Is that one of the metrics for your income?
I think the board counts on me for transparency.
Really? Because you're under investigation for falsifying 787 inspection records. The Boeing's under criminal investigation for the Alaska Airlines flight. You were investigated by DOJ for criminal conspiracy to defraud the FAA. This is all in your tenure. This doesn't sound like a lot of transparency to me. So it's working out great for you. For the American people, they're in danger. For your workers, they're in peril. For your whistleblowers, they literally fear for their lives, but you're getting compensated like never before. Why haven't you resigned?
Senator, I'm sticking this through. I'm proud of having taken the job. I'm proud of our safety record, and I am
You're proud of
very
the safety
proud
record.
of our Boeing people.
You're proud of the
must
safety
admit,
record.
It was a strong moment of public outrage. But that kind of hearing is often more theater than transformation. Boeing's deeper issues go far beyond one executive. Inside the company, whistleblowers have described retaliation, intimidation, and a culture where rising safety concerns can cost you your career. The most tragic example was John Mitch Barnett, a former Boeing quality manager who had raised safety red flags for years. He died by apparent suicide in March 2024 while in the middle of giving testimony for his whistleblower case. It's a sobering reminder that corporate accountability isn't just about shareholder value, it's also about human cost. Now, let us change the channel. On the other end of the spectrum sits Tesla. Under its proposed new compensation plan, Elon Musk would receive a package valued by the media at roughly $1 trillion if the company reaches a market cap of $8.5 trillion and hits a series of operational targets. The board calls this performance-based, and technically it is. But when the numbers get that astronomical, it raises a bigger question. Are we rewarding achievement or worshipping it? Because even if those targets are met, it's not just Elon Musk who built the company's success. Thousands of engineers, factory workers, coders, and technicians make the product real. Without them, the big vision remains only an idea on paper. Yet, their names rarely appear in the headlines, and their compensation never becomes part of a national debate. That gap between who gets the credit and who carries the work is a recurring theme in modern corporate culture. Here are a few facts to anchor us. For example, across large US companies, the biggest share of CEO compensation today comes from long-term equity and stock incentives. On paper, that's meant to align leadership with shareholder interests, but the system has built-in loopholes. Performance metrics can be adjusted. Boards can define success in ways that ensure executives collect even when broader goals fall short. And while shareholders technically have a vote on the pay, it's largely symbolic because boards and compensation committees set the stage long before those votes take place. After all, you can only vote on what options are presented in front of you. So tailoring the options are with the board. Even the oversight process is getting weaker. The SEC's leadership has been reinterpreting some of the rules that govern shareholder proposals. Companies can now more easily block proposals that question executive compensation or corporate governance. That means one of the few tools small investors like you and I have, the ones that we had, to challenge these pay structures is quietly being eroded. What does it mean for us retail investors? Well, for retail investors, this should matter. Extreme executive pay doesn't just affect public perceptions. It can reshape how company performance is measured, how risk is managed, and how resources are distributed. When performance bonuses are tied to market capitalization instead of sustainable growth, you end up with incentives to hype, not to build. That can create volatility that investors, especially retail investors, are left to absorb. And this isn't just about envy or fairness. It's about governance integrity, the trust that connects investors, workers, and customers to the company's long-term mission. Culture and the cycle of outrage is another thing that I have been watching. At its heart, this issue reflects something cultural, not just corporate. We have built markets that celebrate stock spikes more than structural safety. We cheer charismatic founders, but rarely hold boards accountable for how their incentives are structured. That's why we keep seeing the same repeat pattern again and again. Public outrage, media hearings, a few resignations, and then slowly back to business as usual. Maybe it's time to flip that pattern. Instead of cheering the next stock split or performance bonus, investors could start asking tougher questions. How transparent are the metrics? How much oversight exists? And how is long-term trust being built into the company's DNA? Because without those questions, every moral crash will be followed by another PR recovery, like a predictable flight pattern we have all seen before. Well, friends, I hope that gives you food for thought for this weekend. That was the end of my weekend editorial, and I would like to make a request to you. Friends, if you find these kind of videos helpful, please press the like button. It helps me with the YouTube algorithms and helps to build the channel. Thanks and have a great day. I hope you guys have a great weekend. And for those of you who celebrate Diwali, happy Diwali to you all. Bye for now.